record button. There we are. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. I'm Rachel Balunsat. I'm a Regenerative Health Practitioner, and I do clinical iridology. I also have a background in Ayurvedic nutrition and herbs, and I've also studied with the David Sandoval Academy of Learning and become a Purium health professional. And so I'm here with you today to talk about detox and aging, detoxing and nourishing, and how to really nourish your body so that you can have a long life, and not just a long life, but a healthy long life. And so one of the things that I like to start with when I talk about this topic is how we have this really interesting view in our culture around aging. And so many people, including myself, when I started getting sick and struggling with Hashimoto's, I had autoimmune disorder of the thyroid, and I was struggling from extreme exhaustion, extreme fatigue. And I had this view that, oh, I was just getting older, that this is just part of aging, that I'm just getting sick, that I'm just getting tired, that my body's going to become decrepit, and that I'm going to be 90 one day. And I'm going to be 60 one day and homeless and like not able to work. And just basically, I had a very bleak picture of myself and my life and what that would be like. And this is a cultural perception that is becoming more and more common as people are becoming more and more sick, as our environment is getting more and more toxic. And so I really like to plant this different idea that getting sick and getting into pain and all these different things that are associated with aging have actually nothing to do with aging. It has to do with accumulation over time, accumulation of toxins over time. Okay, so really, we really want to be in a world of a toxic-free world, but we just aren't. We have all kinds of ways that toxins are getting into our bodies. And one of those ways is through our food. So we have a lot of influx of toxins that are just coming in through the air we breathe, the food we eat. And what's really important to realize is a lot of us say, oh, well, we are what we eat. And that is 100% true, right? We are made up of what we eat. And even more true is that we are what our food eats. We are what our food eats. And so many of us have not really been told what our food is eating. And we know that most of us know that organic is a good idea. It's better to eat organic. A lot more people are aware of that, how important it is to avoid glyphosate, and how important it is to avoid pesticides and herbicides. And glyphosate is the herbicide. It's what kills weeds. It's used to kill weeds. So this is what Roundup is. Roundup is a weed killer, and it is designed to kill everything, basically. It was originally discovered as, it was kind of used as Drano, liquid Drano, right? It was used to unclog and clean big silos. And they discovered that it was actually killing everything. It was like, oh, wow, look, all the weeds are dead. Everything's dead around it. Wow, cool. Let's put this on our food. let's spray this on crops. So it's particularly used with genetically modified crops. So GMO crops are sprayed with Roundup. And this Roundup goes into the ground and into the food. And so it's not something you can wash off your food. It's not something you can cook off your food. It's literally just in your food. And then when it gets into your body, it's stuck there. And it is not easy to get out of the body. It doesn't just leave over time. It can actually cause us to be more and more sick. In fact, there is a graph that you can see in one of the books that we offer, which is called The Toxin That Came to Dinner, written by Dave Sandoval, who is actually the founder of a company that I've partnered with called Purium. And he's an incredible genius, an incredible scholar of nutrition. And he has really made it his mission to educate the world about glyphosate and how to detox glyphosate in particularly. And he wrote this book called The Toxin That Came to Dinner, that has a chart that shows, this graph shows a correlation of, as we have started to have more glyphosate in the world, as that has gone on a rise, so has diabetes, so has non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, so has lymphoma, so have a lot of other diseases have gone on the rise over time. With the rise of glyphosate has been the rise of disease. Now, glyphosate is sprayed on genetically modified crops, and genetically crops are modified for various things, but one of the things they're modified is to withstand glyphosate so that they don't die, so that it's not going to be killed by this weed killer. So now we've got these crops also, frankenfoods, as some people have called them, that are also withstanding these toxins. And so we're now not only eating the toxins, we're also eating food that has been genetically manipulated. So they're so strong they can resist this death. They can resist this toxin. And now we're eating that. So now we're also eating food that has more toxins on it. Because they can withstand toxins, let's spray more on there. Glyphosate is the most commonly found in wheat. And the food with the highest amount of glyphosate is Cheerios. According to the detoxproject.org, you can go to the detoxproject.org and learn a lot more. So, Glenneth, I'm going to actually make you a co-host so that you can let people into the room. Thank you. So we have this rise of this toxin. We've got this rise of pesticides. We have this, and then we're also using it as a desiccant to dry wheat. So glyphosate is also used as a desiccant. It's used to dry wheat so that it can be brought to market faster. It's used to quicken the process of harvest. So that's one of the reasons why people are struggling so much with celiac. People are struggling so much with their digestion. They're struggling because it literally kills the digestive flora. It destroys everything in our gut. All the good bacteria. There's good bacteria as well as bad bacteria in our gut, and it destroys it all. So we have this problem with this rise of that toxin, but we also have things in our household products and in our cookware that we're not even aware of. Anybody cook with nonstick in their lives? If you've ever cooked with nonstick, you've got those toxins in your body. There's like only one nonstick skillet that is PFOE free, and that's Green Life. Or is it called Green Life? Oh, I always forget what it's called, but someone will tell me. Anyway, Earth Life or Green Life? I think it's Green Life. Anyway, so you've probably got this toxin in your body, right? Those of you who've been cooking with cast iron, well, now you've probably flooded your body with too much metals, too much iron. Those of you who have ever washed with a blue or a colored dish soap, you've got those toxins that are getting into your hands through your skin. And then that's also going into our water supply. And then there's something else that happens. It's sprayed, all that spray is in the air we breathe. There's also formaldehyde in the cars, the brand new cars that we're in. There's also formaldehyde off of new carpeting and walls. So if you've been exposed, if you've moved to a house that had new carpeting, you could get sick. If you have exposure, if you build a new house or you get new furniture or you get new clothes, there's formaldehyde on those. So there's all these different ways that we're getting toxins and we don't even see it. It's invisible to us. It's this thing that's happening on this global scale that we have no idea is even these silent killers that are all around us. Okay. So we accumulate these over time and then we start to get sick and then we're going, why am I, sick? I'm eating organic. I'm doing everything right. Well, maybe it's not your fault. You might also be getting exposed to mold on a regular basis through your house and you don't even know it. There's a leak somewhere and there's some area that's getting more and more moldy under the wall and there's mold in the air and you don't even smell it because you're so used to it. So there's all these different ways toxins can get into us. My cat's right here. You guys can't see her. There she is. She's wanting to join the conversation. So there's all these different things that are really important to be detoxing every day. we're getting an influx. You've been to the gas station, you're smelling that gas, guess where it's going? Right into your liver, and it's just going to stay there. All these things. And the liver just is like a garbage can, just packing it in. Let's just like get all that stuff into the liver. The liver's trying to like be this organ that's like efficiently holding everything. And then some people start to have skin issues because the liver and the kidney are so full there, now it's coming through the skin. So I have known many people, hundreds, thousands of people who have been very, very sick and have been able to detox and nourish their bodies and come back to health. People of all ages. One of them you're going to hear from is Glenneth, who's, I don't know, Glenneth, how old are you? 70, 75, did you say? 75 going on 40?
Oh, 71.
You're 71, okay. So Glenneth, we're going to hear from Glenneth. He has a beautiful story, and he is somebody who I really look up to in terms of how he has gotten his health back. And tell me a little bit about your story on the same kind of journey.
Oh, wow. Well, it's I'll try and make it.
Before you detoxed, so you did this whole detox, you did this whole, the whole Purium 90-day protocol, and you detoxed. But before that, what was your life like?
Yeah, I got a reminder of that this week. I did 5 days in a row of fifth graders, and I have to say, I came home yesterday exhausted. You know, the little kiddos, and we did some exciting projects, but it wiped me out. But the thing is I bounced back now, whereas before I was living in that state of exhaustion. So I want to say it's approaching 9 years ago. I was working 50 and 60-hour weeks with developmentally delayed, disabled clients that needed one-on-one care. And 50 and 60-hour weeks, I had a combination of a lot of extra weight, and I had hypothyroid and sleep apnea. So that was my ongoing state, to feel like I felt like yesterday when I came home. The big difference is now my body, I'm doing a lot these days, bounces back pretty quickly, because I'm on this protocol all the time now. But back then, anyhow, I had hypothyroid and sleep apnea and 40 extra pounds. So I decided to I saw a post from Rachel, and I've known Rachel for quite some time from the arts, and she was working with this new health protocol, and it looked pretty good. And I go, wow, maybe this is what I need. I was probably sitting on the couch. I think that's when I got it, eating a bag of chips. That was my comfort food at the time. And anyhow, I said, maybe I should check this out. So I did, and decided to go for it. The first month, you know, the thing that stuck out the most is the green drinks tasted wonderful. And how satisfied I was. I would take this to work and just put them in little baggies and take them, you know, like it was designed. And I was dropping like a pound a day and feeling different. You know, my sleep was improving. I would say that first month I shaved at least an hour off of my needs of sleep and was feeling better. But I had dropped about a pound a day. So that first month, near the end of that, I had a sleep study scheduled for my sleep apnea. So I did that test, and I was one breath from normal, which blew me away. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And I had dropped that first month 25 pounds and 7.5 inches off my gut. So I just remember looking in the mirror and seeing my body and going, my God, right? I almost had like a 6-pack, you know, in 1 month. And I said, well, I'm definitely staying on this. So I did. I was able to get off the CPAP that first month for the sleep apnea. And anyhow, I continued. The hypothyroid, I was slowly able to titrate back the meds. And
titrate?
Yeah, hypothyroid. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying titrate, not tirate. Titrated off.
Yeah. So back off. And anyhow, by the 5th month, I was able to no longer need that. You know, this is quite a few years, but I achieved my 40 pounds weight loss by the 3rd month, and I've been able to maintain that over all the years. I did a more recent sleep study and hypothyroid test. I'm completely in the normal range for hypothyroid, and the sleep apnea, they said I didn't stop breathing even once, which is pretty cool. You know, I've had full blood analysis done, and they say I have the physiology of a young child and the cholesterol of maybe a 30-year-old. So, I mean, I don't think I could ask for much more at 71. I'm doing a tremendous amount of things in my life, and, you know, I'm living my passions, and I got a lot more years to do it.
Beautiful. And so your energy raised, you lost all this weight, you're saying now like you can bounce back at the end of the day, you feel energized, and you build, you know, you do permaculture, you build cob, you have that beautiful structure you built in the back. And yeah, you just like have just you're very vital and youthful. And, you know, it's great. And, you know, you and I, we've never really totally talked about this, but you and I lived in a very toxic environment as neighbors. We were living at these army barracks that were for artists, and there was and then it turned out that water was like extremely toxic, that they were burying all kinds of gnarly stuff in the ground. And I don't know what we were exposed to. I wish we had tested the water, but your dog died of all these tumors, and you were feeding the dog the water, and you and I were like both very sick after that. So you know, I think it's really interesting, and that's just, you know, a guess. But you know, thank you for sharing your story. I think it's very inspiring. I'm curious if we could also have maybe Shri, if you'd like to share your story about detoxing with this 90-day protocol and what kind of experience you had.
Sure. Yeah, I could do that.
Good morning. Thank you for joining.
Good morning. Yeah, so like right now, it's really interesting because I decided I kind of got lazy and didn't do the biome, which is a glyphosate in the past like 3 days, and also the zinc
Okay,
aid.
wait a second. Hold on a second. Biome? You mean biomedic?
Yeah,
Okay.
biomedic.
It's
Thank
not a
you.
glyphosate, it's glyphosate remover.
Oh, thank you. Glyphosate remover and also a pre and probiotic. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I got lazy and stopped doing that for 3 days, and the zinc aid, and then I got sick. So I'm not sure it's because I stopped doing that. But when I did stop doing it, that's when I have now all this phlegm in my lungs. And also Cindy's here. She has phlegm in her lungs as well. And we want to address that because there could be a possibly vaccine shedding. And so I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. You probably are because you work with hundreds of people. But hopefully you could address that. And that's why Cindy's here, because she's actually going through a lot too with something with the shedding, may possibly. Yeah, Cindy?
Okay. Well, why don't you share your story, Shri?
Okay. So my story is gosh, it's been about 3.5 months now, maybe 3 months. And since I've been on the protocol.
Okay.
And my husband and I were exposed to mold in Hawaii. We were living in Hawaii in Haiku. And I noticed there was mold around, and I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, look, there's mold on the shoes. Let me clean that. Oh, there's mold over here. But I never really thought that it was like that bad kind of mold, you know. And then my bones and muscles started aching. My husband was wheezing in his lungs, and I was like, what is going on? So then and then I found out, I went to the naturopath because I was having panic attacks after eating in restaurants. And then I was not able to sleep at night. I was like, why am I waking up in the middle of the night? Why can't I not sleep? And even trying to sleep at night, because usually I'm a really good sleeper. And then we decided to move off island to Arizona, which was actually a blessing because it's so dry there, right? And then my husband goes, well, I just didn't want to tell you, but I think that we were exposed to mold. I just didn't want to move.
Oh.
And I was like, what?
Oh no.
So, yeah, because of his lungs, you know, the breathing. And then oh yeah, then I dealt with a lot of naturopaths and doctors, and with the Hashimoto's and low thyroid and mold exposure and panic attacks, and the pain, the muscles in my are painful at that time too. And then my husband wheezing, and he had gout and also arthritic. And then so we found Rachel online. I'm like, oh, Rachel. Yeah, I remember I used to do yoga with her, you know, in Sebastopol when we lived in Sebastopol.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, we tried everything, you name it. Naturopaths, lots of supplements. Oh my goodness, we were spending so much money on supplements. And doctors, and we tried the AIP diet, the carnivore diet, the this and that diet, and nothing was helping us all the way through. And then so I'm like, I'm just gonna jump on this, and just do it, because I've seen so many people healing, and Rachel, so we jumped on it. No, I did. And I started feeling better like after 5 days, but I was feeling actually pretty sick in the beginning. And I felt more energy, but then I was in bed, like blowing my nose and coughing. And my husband decided to do it 5 days later. Hey, let me try that. And he actually liked it. So then he was doing it with the fruit. And then he lost 25 pounds in a month. He stopped limping. My family's like, wow, Rick's not limping anymore, because he's always limping. And he wanted to go to the doctor to find out about his ankle. And then now he no longer has to go to the doctor to figure it out and get an MRI, because it went away. And his gout went away. And when he does get gout, he just takes his gout pill, and it goes away within like a few hours. Before it was like 3 days. So something's happening. Something's really going well with this 90-day protocol. And for me, all my symptoms went away. I could sleep well at night, no more panic attacks. And the panic attacks were really bad, where I had to call ambulance. I thought I was going to die. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
And the pain went away in my body. I think that was from the mold exposure. And lots of energy. But I've always had a lot of energy. I never really felt tired. And I was taking thyroid medication, but just, I was kind of like, they wanted me to do it. And I tried it, and I went off, and I tried it. So I'm not doing that, the medications anymore. My husband's off his medications. And we're just excited. We're so.
Did you say your husband's off his medications?
Yeah, he's off. Well, he only took his medications when he had a gout attack.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets a gout attack now, he takes it, and then it goes away within a couple hours. But before,
How long has it been since he's had a gout attack?
I would say, gosh, maybe a month. Something we ate, I don't remember, but we were at my parents' house, and he ate something, and then it flared up, but it went away within a few hours when he took his medication.
Mm-hmm. And usually
It takes 3 days.
Yeah, good. That's beautiful. That sounds like improvement. Well,
It
he
is
said the other day on the call that he usually was at a pain level between 8 and 10, and that now he said he's at like 1.
Yeah.
Like there's no,
Yeah,
he literally said there's no pain anymore.
Yeah, the arthritis. He doesn't have like, it's probably 1-2% now, but
Yeah.
before it was painful, but his arthritis went away.
And so you guys basically are just starting month 4. You guys are in month 4, correct?
Yep, we're all just.
So you did you finished your 90 day, and now you're on the maintenance protocol.
Yeah.
90-day detox. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shri. Appreciate that story. Your load of inspiration. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad that Rick is feeling better. Beautiful. Anne, are you around still? Would love, be great to hear your story too.
I'm here. I'm here.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, that was amazing to listen to. I can't believe you're only on the maintenance program right now. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Woo! Are you still at Harbin too? That's so fun. Wow.
So Anne is a dear friend of mine from 20 years ago. We used to dance together, and we were following each other online for that's how people keep in touch these days, right? And she was like, suddenly I just never saw her picture. It was just words. I would never see any pictures of her online. And I was like, where's Anne? Like, what's going on with her? Like, what? I want to see images. Like, what are you doing? And so Anne, share your story, because it's pretty beautiful.
Oh my God, that's a beautiful lead-in, because it's true. I was a naturopaths wellness expert, and I was really, I was bringing products from Europe to the marketplace and really innovating. And I, at the same time, had to change my living situation. So I moved away from Sebastopol, where Rachel and I were friends for all that time. And I moved to keep my business open. I stayed with my mom, and I had my 2 kids, and all of a sudden my lifestyle changed. I turned 40 and I had this incredible gallbladder attack, and put on a ton of weight, and then had this gallbladder attack. And it was, I went from being, a dancer doing handstands and thinking of myself as just, very fit, to being over 200 pounds. And so I didn't want to put myself on screen anymore. Yeah, here's this is my before and after, and you'll see that I chose that outfit on purpose, because I was going with Purium. When I saw Rachel, and it was just like Glenneth, I saw Rachel on Facebook, and I knew her for a long time, knew her struggle was real, and had been there when we tried everything to help her feel better, and saw her researched as an innovator. I researched the marketplace, I researched the brand, found out it was a formulations expert that I had followed since 1998, had met in the field as they were launching their business. I was launching another incredible startup that still exists today, innovating in the marketplace topically. So I knew immediately. I got one of those moments. It was one of those moments for me where you get chills from head to toe, and I knew I was going to save my life. So that picture that Rachel showed you was a before picture that I knew I would have an after too. And so unlike Glenneth, it took me 18 months to lose 65 pounds. It seems like you lost 40 in 3 months, but I, as a woman, I never went for a walk. I'm not an exercise person. I'm active enough in my life. I'm very busy, and with 2 kids, the inflammation was really the big thing, though, that I was big for about 3 years, pushing 200 pounds to over 200 pounds for 3 years. But it was really when I had to start sliding to the bathroom to pee in the morning, where my ankles no longer worked, that I got this panic attack in my heart, knowing that inflammation is the first drumbeat of death. And as a natural products expert, I just felt that I was betraying everybody, because I'd been preaching and teaching for all these years, and I was going to die. I had smoked cigarettes, I'd previously given that up. And so, I didn't know about pink lotion being damaging to your endocrine system until 1997, is when 1998 is when natural products were introduced to me. So, toxicity, like Rachel pointed out today, the reason that I'm on the products every single day since that mark, what was it, 7 years ago that I was done losing that weight, is because of the consistency of the lack of nutrition in our food. It's a sad fact that our organic food may or may not have vitamin C, given the soil that it's grown in. And these foods are harvested at peak perfection. They come from black rich soils, intentional waters, spring or volcanic, the heirloom seeds, the innovation in the marketplace, the regenerative agriculture, the protection that I know working with masters in their field. Like, there's just nothing like these foods. And so once you start, you have groceries that work to protect you from the onslaught of toxins every day, and the damage that depletion will do to you, the lack of minerals that we do not incur because we maintain the daily core 4. It's insane. It's absolutely beautiful empowerment. And I can't be more grateful, really, honestly, to feel so well. And yeah, and to be 49 and strong. And anytime I gain a little bit of weight, I don't have any of those issues, because I can just bounce onto a 10-day or a 5-day, or, it's taught me so much about the overconsumption that is not necessary too, and that caloric intake is only so big because nutrients are so low. And when you're so fueled by such high dense nutrition, there's just no reason for this intense amount of caloric intake, because you can't heal while you're digesting, in a world where you're made to digest 3 times a day with 2 snacks and 2 Starbucks. It's an onslaught attack, really. And so these fields just empower you on every level. So daily groceries for me.
Thanks, girlfriend. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Oops, you're welcome. Yeah. So, this is so just like to drive the point home and to recap, like, I think I would guess that probably all of us felt like, oh, I'm getting older. All of us who you've heard our stories, we're all like around, we're between, 50 and 70 here that you heard from today. And so it's very common for people to start feeling sick after they've been accumulating over time. So again, it's not about aging, because in the past, more people died naturally. And what does that mean, to die of natural causes? Well, like dying from just like I'm old, rather than I'm sick. And Dave Sandoval, who's the founder and the formulator of these products, really won my heart when he talked about his grandmother and how she was basically on all these medications. And they said, we're going to do a free fall, which means we're going to take them. I think it was called a free fall, but we're going to take your grandmother, off of all of her medications. And when they do that in the medical industry, when they do that, that means like, basically, we're going to let your person die, right? We're going to let that person die. We're going to take them off their medications. We're going to let them die. And why do they do that? What does that exactly mean? Well, they get to a point where they're like on so many different pharmaceuticals, they're all like interacting with each other, and you just got this kamikaze, and people are actually like, just not doing well. So when they decided to do this free fall, Dave presented to his grandmother, like, well, here, like, take all this stuff. And she looked at it and she said, I'd rather die. But he knew that if he could just like help his grandmother detox and nourish her body, that things could shift. So he created this formula, and long story short is she ended up living many years longer, just fine, able to make her own meals, able to take care of herself. She lived in her own house. She had all of her, and she lived to a ripe old age. And then one morning she put on her little Sunday shawl that she would wear to church. And she sat herself on a rocking chair, watched her favorite TV show, Hawaii Five-0. And several hours later, she was found by her family, and she had passed away on her rocking chair in her Sunday best with a smile on her face, having intentionally gone out. Like it wasn't even a Sunday, but she was wearing her best. It was like she knew, this is the time, it's my time to go. Now, when we talk about living a long life, and I say, hey, let's live a long life, some people, I had a boyfriend who was like, oh no, I just want to die when I'm 70. I'm going to take like a death pill. And I was like, what? Because people are afraid of getting sick and aging. They think that like, oh my God, not everyone, so many people in our culture have been programmed to think that we're going to have this, terrible death, and I'm going to be sick. And so let's just like get rid of ourselves before we get to that stage. And it's just such a sad perspective, and it's such a misconception about aging. And so I really hope that the stories you've heard, it can debunk the myth that you can actually age gracefully, you can age strongly, you can age beautifully, and we can age gracefully. And that this means that this requires a certain amount of taking care of ourselves. So now I'm a regenerative health practitioner, which means we regenerate ourselves. So your body has this incredible innate ability to regenerate, given the proper nutrients, given the building blocks. Your body can detox. You can detox all these chemicals that feed viruses, pathogens, and bacteria in the body. You can actually detox these things. These chemicals are what viruses, pathogens, parasites live on. Bacteria, they live on toxic heavy metals. They live on adrenaline. So if you have like a very stressful experience, it's like you have this outburst of adrenaline. They live on adrenaline, which also comes from eating high fats, eating lots of fats, even just putting oil on your salad every day, putting fats in your food all the time, cooking with fats. These things feed all these pathogens. So all we have to do is shift things a bit, nourish our body with the right foods, and detox, having foods that help eliminate metals, which I'm going to show you what this 90-day protocol is that we have done, those of us who've done it. I had Hashimoto's. My blood work is normal now. I no longer am even anemic. I'm O positive, which everyone says O positives need to eat meat. And I've been vegan for like 9 years since I started this protocol, because this protocol got me well. I was like, I'm not going to change anything. If this made me feel good, why would I change it up? And so that was really great, because I really, I preferred to stay off animal products. But if you're somebody who like loves your animal products, you are also welcome to put them back in after the 90 days. But just remember, whatever got you to wherever you're at, if you're struggling with health issues, if you've gotten here from that if you go back to what you were doing, you're going to eventually accumulate again and be back where you are. Okay. But we do want to detox the chemicals and the metals out of our bodies as well. And I'm not saying, my friend, I remember when she told me, she said, on day one, she said, like, if you can just like, not eat meat for a little while. I was like, are you crazy? There's no way I can live without meat. Like, there's just no way. I'm totally scared to take meat out of my diet. I feel like I will die. I felt like I was dependent on that for energy, even to keep my brain alive. I just really had this thought. I had been vegan before, but I was like, there's just no way. And so she said, well, just for one day, just remember, there's all the protein you need is all these products, and just for one day to see how you do. And if you have to have chicken or fish at the end of the day, go for it. And I was like, all right, deal, we'll do that. But what was really surprising is day one, I felt amazing. I was like, wow, I actually like got through the day and I'm okay. I'm not fainting. And at the end of the day, I'm not fainting. Okay. All right. I did it. And then I got through day 2 and I was like, wow, I have like quite a bit of energy. I'm feeling pretty good. And then I got to day 3 and I was like on top of the world. And I thought, whoa, what is it about this that's enabling me to feel so energized, so healthy, so alive, so vital, and that I was able to feel like I was getting my life back? And that's when I ended up starting my journey as studying regenerative health. That's how I started my journey, studying with Dave Sandoval and going to the David Sandoval Academy of Learning and learning health and nutrition also through him. And so this really like deepened my journey into my studies, which is how I ended up wanting to share this with the world. I was like, this is amazing. Like, this protocol is so well thought out. The farms, like Anne was saying, our farms are incredible. The farms that Purium has are 60 to 90 feet topsoil. They're old lake beds, just full of minerals and rich vitamins and minerals. And then it's 100 miles away from any polluting industry. So there's no flow from, there's no toxic waste coming in from, nearby surrounding farms. There's no toxic waste coming from nearby, like genetically modified cross-drift, which can crossbreed with our crops and turn them into GMOs. So we've got there's a lot of protection in this land, and it's just there's never been any chemicals on this particular land. It's always been pure. They're old lake beds. There's another place where toxins come from, which I haven't talked about before, but I'm going to bring this up really quick before I show you what this 90-day protocol looks like. There's actually, back in the day, we used to a lot of companies would just dump their toxins and their chemicals into rivers. That was how they got rid of stuff. They would dump and toss them into rivers. And then there became this realization that it was killing everything and people were getting sick from the rivers, and that this was just totally not okay. And so laws were put into place to ban chemicals from being put into rivers. So what happened? Well, the chemicals still had to go somewhere. So where did they go? Well, it turned out these companies figured out that they could actually take their barrels and barrels of toxins and put them into planes and go to private airports, and where there's no one who can actually say anything or do anything or notice anything. And they would go up into the sky, and that's where they would release their toxins. So everyone who has this thing about like, oh my God, chemtrails, like a lot of people don't even know what that is, or don't even know where it comes from, or doesn't even know what that means, or they think it's like some government conspiracy. But the fact is, it's actually toxins that are being released by the planes. It's a way for them to dump chemicals without getting caught. That's what that is. So this is another area we're getting an onslaught of toxins. And those of us who live in Sonoma County, we've had a lot of fires. So there's been a lot of toxins that have come down through the ashes into our soils as well that way. So there's so many ways we're getting toxins, and it's really important to detox and then to do this daily detox. So let me share my screen. I'm going to show you guys what this protocol looks like, and you can get a 25% off discount of this off this protocol from whoever invited you to this Zoom. And here it is. It's called the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. So you'll get 25% off, like I said. There's several different options here. You can choose from the ULT is really the basic. This isn't all 4 packs, but there are 4 packs. There's the collagen pack, there's the immune pack, and then the performance pack, which we're doing. Those of us who are anybody who wants to join our workouts and do exercise, you can join us, and this would be the pack you would use. The immune pack is what I recommend for most people, because most people are deficient in zinc and vitamin D. So I will start with I'll tell you about the ULT pack, but I recommend the immune pack if you want to go and get the zinc as well. But this has our amazing apothecary juice, which is tart cherry juice, and this is helpful for really deep sleep. So sleep is another important part of detoxing, because that's when our brain shrinks and all the toxins come out of our brain and go into the water, the fluid that's now kind of just like washing through our body at night. So we get a bath, our body gets a bath in the middle of the night, and it's when we're in REM sleep. And that's when all the toxins are removed from the brain. So this apothecary juice actually doubles our REM sleep, our dream time. That's what the studies show. And so this is great for just detoxing at night. This is your fruit, and these are your veggies, and then here's your protein, okay? So you've got your veggies are in these different shakes. You can choose which ones you want. There's a variety of options here. And this is the power shake. It's been equivalated to 6 microgreen salads. It has really more nutrients than anything that you would normally eat in a whole day. And you're doing these twice a day, getting these beautiful green drinks twice a day. They're meal replacements. You can have them in substitute for a meal if you like. You've got these super aminos, which you can take with them. These are plant-based protein. This is really the building blocks of life right here. And this also helps with tightening skin. This helps with elasticity of the skin. This also helps with, for me, it's actually helped remove stretch marks that I had on my breast from growing and shrinking from when I gained weight and then lost weight. And it's just incredible for energy. It's just absolutely amazing for energy. It's a patented formula that was also used to prevent muscle atrophy in coma patients. So it actually builds and tones muscles while you're sleeping. All right. So that's why Anne was able to enjoy not working out, but still enjoy the benefits of her body getting toned. So this is the Biomedic. This is what removes glyphosate. This is basically a probiotic proven by the Detox. It's actually clinically proven. And the detoxproject.org gave us an award for being the only proven product that can remove glyphosate. So this is really important to take daily. You've got these super cleanser herbs that help sweep the colon, that help kill parasites, that help kill any unwanted bacteria, pathogens in the body, which also helps with reducing viral loads. So this is just really incredible that you take for 10 days the first month and 10 days the second month. So this is a 1-month supply. This is your first 30 days. And this is $12 a day for 2 meals a day. So $12 a day, 2 meals a day, and your supplements. So for $6, you're getting your supplements and your meal. And then you're doing that twice a day. So this saved me about $300 on my groceries. This is literally your groceries for the month. This is going to cover 2/3 of your grocery bill right here. This is going to be, you're going to have this delivered to your door. It'll save you time shopping. It'll save you time meal preparing. And it'll save you time with dishwashing. You're just going to have like 30 seconds. It comes with this blender, and you can have your meal in 30 seconds. So you're going to have a lot more time in the day. You're going to save money. Most of you will probably save money and save me money. And yeah, like that. So this is the retail value on this is $480. But like I said, you'll get 25% off from whoever invited you. And so they're going to give you, you'll have it for $360. So the first month, and then it goes down each month after that. So you can see when you go to the page, ultlifestyle.com, and you're going to use the gift code of the person who invited you. These are the core benefits, and you can click get started today. And you can actually customize this pack. So you can actually change out the shakes and choose the different flavors that you like. But I definitely recommend that you get 2 of each. So here it says right under month 1, there's a little underline. It says, would you like to customize this? Click that. And then you've got your, I would leave the top 2 as Power Shake Appleberry. That's the most popular flavor. If you don't like sweet, then just get unflavored. And then you have 2 super meals. There's vanilla chai and there's vanilla and super meal original. So those are the 2 options. So I would get 2 Power Shakes, 2 super meals, 1 of each if you like, just to try it out. The second month, the price goes down to $340 because, and you're going to take those super cleanser herbs that came in the first month. You're going to take the second half, your second month. So this goes down to $340. And this is like a real savings getting the pack together. If you individually bought all these items, it would be a lot more. So you can, again, just like change it out, right? Customize that. And then your 4th month is the maintenance pack. So this is what I've been doing since I started 9 years ago. I've been on this and more. I call it, actually, this is called the Core 4, but I do what's called, I call it the Core 12 because I take like several more products than this. We have a lot of different products. But again, customize your pack. There it is. Super meal, 1 Power Shake. And you can stop or change this anytime. Like if you decide this isn't for you, there is a money back guarantee, 60-day money back guarantee, but you can try it for 60 days. You can quit or change your pack at any time. You can customize this anytime throughout your 3 months, but this is going to be your first 90 days. And then after that, you go into this maintenance pack. And this just automatically comes to you. It only processes, you only get charged right when it gets shipped. So you're just only paying for it once a month. Just think of like buying, not everyone's used to buying all their groceries up front, but just imagine you're just buying all your groceries for the month. This is like your, Costco order and you're just getting it all at one time. So any questions about that? We'll go into Q&A support for all of those who are on this in just a moment, but just want to check and see. So thank you all for coming today and for sharing your stories, Glenneth and Shri and Anne. I appreciate you all so much. And I think you guys are a very perfect example of what's possible. I really do believe that we can live a lot of years. I have this number in my mind that I'm going to live to 120. And I really think that's possible now that I've learned how to detox and nourish my body with these superfoods. And we're basically those 12 microgreen salads also have spirulina in there, which helps eliminate metals. It also has barley green juice, which also helps lift and eliminate metals, as well as kill. It also kills viruses. And so this is a really incredible protocol for all kinds of things. It definitely is. It's always helpful to help your body have the building blocks so that it can fight disease, so that it can fight illness, and so that your body can also fight inflammation. And like that. So I'm available. We also have a support group that's called the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation Support Group that you can join once you've ordered. And there's recipes in there. There's a community in there. If you're not on Facebook, we also have an app. So we have different ways that you can plug in and get information and learn more. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and then I'll open it to questions and answers in case anyone has any particular questions they'd like to ask me. So thank you for coming today.